呀，好，各位有啊，刚才有两个很宝贵的很多故事啊，我们应该找一天，特别是在每一个在四节在记录一定有很精彩的故事，也许可以就是可以多弄几个就回顾一下历史啊。我今天的演讲只是会有英文的，大家都知道我的就是我，所以大家也许是比较舒服一点啊。那我的在给 talk 在英语是比较口音没有那么重的，虽然我在中国的很多同学看见我已经比较习惯了。Okay, so I would present this in conjunction with Li Jin. Okay, so Li Jin is our long-term collaborator, so we prepare the talks together. And so there are various cases, and then I'll focus mainly on our work together over the last 20 years. And then, but everything stands on something else, and that something else is before 1997 when the whole project started. So we will get to our work. When you say 两岸合作，当然是两岸的，就是有 in Taiwan in taxonomy, but there are substantial things happening in China. So both in the underground lab and in the collaboratives, which is very much related to what is happening here, and then maybe some perspectives on how the future may evolve. So in this talk, I means when the word I comes, it is from my perspective, and we put in some stars to some crucial wave function collapsing. So for the quantum, for those people who knows what it means, and then along the way, there are some things that we don't think that this is not entirely natural that things would evolve like this. 不是完全按海里的进行的。我们的 and then we just list those and see things may evolve with a parallel universe if we make a different decision. Okay, but before we get into to report our accomplishments and to get excited by the future, let's also pay tribute to those who are no longer with us. So this is our early collaborators, Wang Huanyu, who died a few days ago. So he was an early contributor from on our AMS program from IHEP Beijing, visiting this institute 1996 and 1997. He has been get to the deputy director of IHEP Beijing, and is the chief scientist of the satellite-based hard X-ray program in China, the first generation, which is this is well. He died a few days ago of heart attack. So it's a very sad loss. And then one of my first friends and neighbors while I'm in Taiwan. And now this is I should translate this one. So he died while he's making a talk last Sunday, and his last word is it's an apology to his audience that I'm not feeling too well today. I couldn't present the latest result of this XXMT, his satellite, to us. And then he collapsed in time. So we should remember him, but we would move on. So a theory paper that graces my office. You go to my office, you will find that in 20 years ago. And then from an academician, so must have some substance. So through collaborations, we will win together. So various points. Knowledge is important. Nobody would disagree. Cooperation is good, fine. Both sides has complementarity. Both would agree. But the last one is doubt. And also we must scrutinize that. If we cooperate, we can compete. This is not obvious. Even if we work together, we may not be able to compete. So now we see the experimental report. So before 1997, when the whole thing starts, so we have a long-term business from starting from initiated again mostly by Li Chang and company and also TK. So the first two visitors from IHEP Beijing for long term is Yu Zhongqiang and Yu Quansong. Yu Zhongqiang is a particle physicist, and the other Yu Quansong is an electronic engineer. So he has to get through two presidents to get that here. We trace back the paper. The paper started in 93 June, and both of them came in the 1994 August, April 27, 1994. So it takes 10 months to get all the bureaucracy done, and then PK would report that this is substantially more complicated than it is now. Yeah. But they come and then they spend a good year with us doing various things. So Yi Zhongqiang and Yu Shenxong, and then this is Chen Yanzhu, one of our 30 years RA, and then students, and then staff, and then who is now at Fermilab. So during that time, Yi Zhongqiang give lectures, and then one of the lecture notes are still in our lab, and he would tutor supervised students or master students, and then so Liang Yanshan is one of our early master students that done her master thesis with Yu Changda. And then following this two visitors, we have the early visitors, including Sheng Junpang, who has passed away quite some time ago, Mao Zhihu, that time Hong Huanyu, who passed away a few days ago, and then and Zhao Dixi. So these are all the 1997 casts, which substantially build our platforms for electronics, detector capability, intact with students, and then from which all the roots grow. Okay, now enters our part that I'm more familiar with. So we start off with the taxono group, and then in China it evolves into a name called CDEX. So we work on low energy neutrinos and astrophysics. In Taiwan, we have built this lab at the power reactor, which we come into. Then it's mostly for the last 20 years it's based and led by academics in this institute with the power plants substantially contributing from and then there are early contributions from Henan Suo at Longtan, and then Qingdan and they are students along, and we are students from them. And along the way we are joined by groups from Turkey as well as in India. The Chinese groups have been working with us since the very beginning, and since for a decade it grows substantially. When your child grows, they have to have their own identity, and this is their identity, and they would build an underground lab, and then headed by the Tsinghua University, and then we would get into this project. Yeah. So how does everything start? So in 1995, this is China. So invite Jiang Zhongyuan, who Jiang Haiyang mentioned, from University of Maryland professor to come to Taiwan for a year, for a good year, and then specifically with the aim of initiating the neutrino project. And by 1996, so for a year, they would visit Beijing, and then discuss strategies, discuss framework, and so on. And an MOU was signed between this institute and the IHF Beijing. It's signed by Zichang and Zheng Jifang, who is the director, but with heavy involvement from Jiang Zhongyuan, and then Li Jin, my counterpart. And according to Jiang Zhongyuan, both in conversation as well as in written notes, the senior academicians at Wang Kanqiang, which is a famous Chinese senior scientist, along the process has a very significant impact, and then Zhang Zhongyuan would attribute a great weight to Wang Kanqiang's involvement. But then this is the cast, and then what is the now? These are some stuff. It need not be like that, but somehow the founding fathers define the strategy like that. Where? Here. So the project to be done in Taiwan. And what do we do? We would do reactor neutrino physics, but with reactor. There are various choices along the way, which may or may not be obvious at that time. And who is doing this? And then there's the Taiwan and the mainland China collaboration. So this is also not totally obvious, given that Zhongyuan's career was built in the U.S. He could have bring this institute to Fermilab, and then we would be doing doing minnows and then over and then do it. So it could evolve otherwise. But this is the choice, and then this is the choice is based on the personal taste as well as the strategies and visions. Yeah. So my part comes in 1997. So I come in, then I work out with Li Jin on to implement this. So my contribution is on the how, the depth. More weighted as CJ. So I deal with the depth, and then work things out. Okay, so we take a look at that. This Zhang was there, and then Zhang Zhongyan in his happy retirement time in San Diego, and then when his young with Wang Ganchang. So at that time, Zhongyan is about the time my age. I am now the same age as he is now, as he was 1988. And then with Li Jin in the early times, and Deng Zhifang, who is the director of IHAP. So these are some of the founding fathers that built the platforms and define the roadmap. The memorandum of understanding. So there was a stated explicitly black and white. The visit in 1996 in March, and then the Wang Ganchang was specially mentioned, and then it's specifically indicated that it's proposed by Zhang Zhongyuan. And along the many signed by Li Qichang and then Deng Zhifang. And then along the many words is that 海沙两岸中国物理学家倡度共同发展的倡度是 we would take the lead, we would propose experiments, do it, we would be responsible for our success and failure. So this is not obvious at that time. This is a rather ambitious statement. And then also stated that eventually, it would be a international collaborative for the Now, this part this part is still in future tense, which we hope to achieve. Yeah. So at least the first half we have secured, and then we would like to share with you some of the things that So now, I was at CERN. That was before my time, 1992 and 1997, prior to here. And then this story was not shared, and then I shared it in the first time. Before I came here, I talked with senior physicists at CERN, or in future tense, what we have plans to do in Taiwan. And two senior CERN physicists, independently, occasionally, sweetly reminded me that after listening to all the blah blah blah, CERN and Dubna had been jointly nominated for Nobel Peace Prize for being able to work together. So this is from some in two independent locations. The way that the senior physicists are 老江湖, they have seen many things. So you can see that as an encouragement to a young boy. And then, but this can also means that anything is a courteous statement or courteous way of saying that anything else that you said doesn't interest me anymore, except this one. And then they see that the potential, the difference, the uniqueness of that the two communities tries to work together. Yeah. So and indeed, while the directions and technologies, 方向跟方法 have evolved and changed since the early times. But I think that for me and for Li Jin, we cherish the spirit, the founding cross-country, cross-strait collaboration, 两岸合作的关系 remains intact, and despite various challenges and our guiding principle this is the guiding principle in difficult decisions. We have come across difficult decisions along the way, and then we put this as a primary weight that this is something that we try not to keep it intact, not to challenge this one. Yeah. Okay. So now, but these are more technical parts which we have seen. So which are just skillful. So we have built in Taiwan with collaboratively we have built a lab in the Forsen 20 meters from the core, and then 25 kilometers from here, and then it was noted by Science magazines in 2003. At that time, it was rather unique, and by now there's a lot of they have many use, but at that time it was a rather unique development, and then attract some attention, and then we have. This is our hardware. It's 20 meters from the core. We have shieldings, and then we have a space that put in different detectors and do reactor neutrino physics. Yeah. And then for the various detectors, once you mention that this one, the cesium iodide detector, with which we do the best measurements out of the two for the two fundamental electrons in nature, the electron and the electron antineutrinos, is made, and mostly by IHAP. So full of crystals and the PMT is made in China, care of IHAP. So they get companies to make it and then calibrate that and then ship it to Taiwan. And our first generation of electronics are made by our IHAP collaborators and mostly done here. And in particular, the generation 1 FADC becomes the hardware seat of the high energy group, the Head-1 physics program under the So we did, at that time it was a rather fancy device and sell down the hardware and FADC. And then because of this experiment, we make it, and because we make it, we know how to make the second version, first version, and next version, and then it becomes that triggers the hardware development in a Head-1 program system. So of course by now it is much superseded by the much more fancier things with FPGAs and so on. And then we did neutrino physics. We have in this lab we have done standard model measurements beyond standard models pro. We have done neutrino electromagnetic measurements. And since sometimes we want to go lower in threshold. And we started off wishing to do neutrino nucleus coherence scattering. And because of that, we have to develop detectors, which brings to a submethod program as a byproduct in the reactor lab. And because of that, we did some theory programs with Chen Junwei and then Liu Chengguang locally, and then it's a rather productive line of work with the theory. And this would trigger off the dedicated submethod program in China and the establishment of an underground lab. So everything has a sequence. Okay, some of the tasks and earlier tasks. So this is from another our collaborator from Yuanjing Yuan, Zhou Ying, and then Tang Hongqing. In Yuanjing, this is our first physics result with the CIAE neutron source, and then the earlier times of this